my junior year, I was pretty much done by the whole girlfriend experience, and I just kind of felt us drifting apart. There's so much behavior I couldn't accept and shit like that, and I just knew that she'd be moving on, um, because she was a grade ahead of me, and she was set to graduate early and on time, earlier and or on time. Me, I was pretty much done with school. Um, I already had a suspicion she might have fucked around, and there was real competition starting to show up. So I just felt I was gonna be a fucking asshole, start some shit I really didn't want to deal with at all, and I would rather just throw myself into work. And I was like, I'll move on. There'll be other girls. There was always that shit that was thrown around like, oh, there's always plenty of fish in the sea. And kind of knew it. On the other hand, with the personal relationship, I kind of seen it like, yeah, we can make it work. I could work on it. But not being the greatest boyfriend or shit like that, I decided to end it because I seen where it was gonna go. It would all end up in tragedy. Yeah, we would have been together for a little while, yeah, longer. But she was gonna want to move on, do other shit, grow into adult life. She was already 18, 18, you know, plenty of competition out there, plenty of better dudes with their shit, more of their shit together. And I just didn't want that drama. So I decided to break up with her. Me as a student, I was over it. I was over school. I knew there was alternative choices I could make. I was fucking skipping school and in school suspension and Saturday detentions. It was just unreal bullshit. Couldn't serve Saturdays because I worked. And so many goddamn smoking tickets, fines, you know. I couldn't get into BD because they would just label me at risk. It's like, why aren't you motherfuckers letting me in BD, man? So I had to choose with the alternative school. I'd be in that. I'd be single again. I'd be hanging out with my friends again. Be around girls. Have romantic interest. Fucked up a few good chances. Um, that summer I would get into a heap of trouble. I would steal about $1,000. Went to a few parties. Did cocaine. To put it to you simply, I like, like, hey, anybody knows how to get coke? I got a fucking pocket full of cash, and I definitely know how to get cocaine. Moved on, but not really. When you have like your first like real relationship, it'd be a person that's always, in the back of your mind for years and shit like that. It would be on the healing process. Um, I would try to attend my junior year after coming back into the house because when I stole $1,000, my fucking dad was pissed off and kicked me out for the summer basically. He's like, you fucking make it work. So I had to retain my job and work at Texas Roadhouse while surfing on couches that summer. My brother was already out of the house. He was done. He already had a baby and shit. I'd be an uncle. My parents would be grandparents. that caused stress and shit. When I started hanging out with my friends, you know, I would settle back into, you know, the whole rebellious life. Starting to drink a little bit more, do a little bit more drugs, acid, prescription pills and shit like that. Just as fun, you know. I'd be informed that my mom would be doing some heinous ass shit when she was getting so fucking drunk, blacked out. She'd be hitting on my friends, trying to make out with my friends, grabbing out with my friends. And that wasn't cool. The first guy told me, and he really never, you know, Lyle, he told me what happened. I was like, oh shit. Like, that's fucked up. Had a big ass fight with my mom. Fucking smacked her for it. I thought that shit would never happen again. I started not wanting my friends to come over and shit like that. Second time it fucking happened, Sean, he would fucking tell Paul. Paul would be fucking pissed, as any woman's husband would be. He didn't want to hang out with me too much anymore. I wouldn't know at first what happened, but I know that him and Paul got into it. I was like, what the fuck happened? And Paul was like, I don't want to talk about it, you know, shit like that. The bullshit with my mom, and got to the point it was just crazy. Like I said in previous videos, bro. My mom would be cutting off on the rails. She'd be going crazy. She had less control of me. See, my mom would involve herself into my relationship and shit like that. Something I couldn't forgive her for. She would call up to the outing club, blind ass drunk. She would fucking act like a fucking jackass, arguing all the time. When, you know, at the house, even when Nate's not there, she'd just have something to fucking fight about, something to fucking bitch about. I would be allowed back in the house. I would try to start my junior year as normally as I could. Of course, you have a whole fucking year to cut loose, you know, a whole summer to cut loose and shit like that, which I did. I would try to, by this time I was driving and shit. Working at Texas Roadhouse, paying back the money I owed my dad that I stole because, you know, I'm gonna be a fucking jackass. Might as well be a fucking earwigs, bro. Oh shit. I don't know what the fuck that is. But I'd be most definitely cut loose, and I would attend North Scott Junior High School. But at this time, I needed to get the fuck out. September 11th happened, and I was like, hey, I want to go to Project Ready to get my GED, because school was not working out. Had to deal with the whole being around my ex-girlfriend and her friends. Had to deal with the whole drama that was unfolding in my personal life and shit like that. And of course, there would be other romantic interests trying to hit me up at the same time. And I really just didn't want to do that. Mess around with this girl named Katie, Dawn. And, you know, people will talk. So me being a young man, you know, not being comfortable with the bed I made myself, I had to get the fuck out of that goddamn school. They're especially pissed that I was going to be turning 18 that year, and I didn't go through driver's ed. They had a fucking problem with that. I just went. This was back when you could just go out to the DOT and get your license the old school way. Pass the test, 2 tests, well 3 tests. Fucking eyes, written, and practical. Passed all that shit, so I'm driving. I got my own freedom. I could fucking leave the house. Still got a fucking curfew though. And I hate that. I fucking hate that I had a curfew. Because I was already, you know, I was working, doing my thing. Arguments would not subside. That was a Christmas that, you know, was never there. Nate wasn't there. Paul and my mom were fucking checked out. Paul was looking for other job opportunities that year. He was looking to move down to Louisville, Kentucky. And I was months away from getting my GED.